Why does hockey look so fast? And how do you play fast in the game of hockey? Well, I've got the 4 critical points for you today that are going to make you a better hockey fan. It's going to give you an inside look deep into the knowledge of the game from a high-performance hockey coach, me, Coach Ryan D, here with Hockey Canada. So let's get after that list and let's explain why hockey looks so darn fast and truly why it is so fast. It really is why we love it. Number 1, stay in your gosh darn net. You hear everybody yelling it at the arena at our favorite player on the ice, our team's goaltender. When that puck gets down into your own zone and the goalie goes out to play it,
and that's what happens. The fans get going on Carey Price. With that little weak one into him.
You sit there holding with bated breath. Please don't make a mistake. Just stay in your net. Let the defenseman play the puck. This couldn't be further from the truth. And let's hear from the man himself, Carey Price.
Playing the puck as a goalie isn't easy.
So admittedly, playing the puck is very challenging, but it is super critical. And when there are only 32 starting goaltenders in the NHL, we have to rely on the best in the world and their puck handling skills to do it. A great example here is Joey Daccord, the Seattle Kraken starting goaltender. He is one of, if not the best at the game at doing it. And what we see is quite simple. We need to stop that puck behind the net, and we need to behave like a third defenseman. We need to make that breakout pass to the corner because it allows us to trap players below the line and below the hash marks so we can leave the zone with speed and with ease. It gets us up the ice fast. It's all about playing fast in this video. It's also critical to note that you cannot make body contact with the goalie. I get it. People say it all the time. If they go out to play the puck, they should be free to hit just like a defenseman or any other player. You got to take this attitude, put it in the bank. It's gone. It doesn't exist. Goaltenders' equipment and goaltenders themselves, their equipment is not designed to take a hit. Their equipment is designed for glancing blows of pucks. It is not designed to stop concussions or body checks. So this is a rule to protect the goalie. Sure, it gives them an advantage, but it's equal across all parts of the game. That's why all goalies need to come out and play the puck. And I mean, really, after seeing clips like that, everybody wants a Joey Daccord on their roster. But when it doesn't work, oh boy, does it look bad. And the screaming fans come out. Like this clip here with Stuart Skinner. He's hesitating. He's done the correct thing. He's corralled the puck behind the net, and now he's gone ahead and he's suckered the Dallas Stars down low for a quick little breakout. The problem is he panics and he fires it up the wall. Instead of making a pass to his defensemen, which are clearly covered by the Dallas Stars, he rims it around the boards. We never want to do this as a defenseman or a goaltender. There's always going to be opposing defensemen on that blue line ready to stop the puck. They do. They turn it over, and there's a really good chance on net, and many times pucks like this do go in, which causes screaming fans and likely gives you a heart attack when watching your favorite team if your goalie is dust at handling the puck. And don't think I am just ripping on Stuart Skinner. The best goalie in the world right now is Connor Hellebuyck, but Connor Hellebuyck has had his struggles with going ahead and playing the puck as we see here. These are not one-offs for Connor Hellebuyck. It is so critical that goalies learn to play the puck, but it is not a requirement of the position. As a high-performance coach, I can tell you every coach I've worked with at every level, whether it's AAA, Junior A, the WHL, and yes, the NHL, they all say the same thing. Take the guy that is better at stopping the puck between the pipes, but if all things are equal, take the better puck handler. It's how you separate and break the tie, but it is interesting that you can make it to the NHL level without being a good puck handler because it is so critical from age 12 all the way up for goaltenders to be able to do this. Number 2. There are 4 critical neutral zone forechecks, the most important being the 1-2-2. The 1-2-2 is where you have F1 pressuring the puck, F2 and F3 holding the red line. The key is if that puck is moved to the strong side, they're trying to force a turnover at the red line and cause an icing, or go ahead and force a turnover so they can counterstrike and we can put the puck back in the net. If that fails though, our next goal is to stop the weak side pass. And in this example, the Seattle Kraken don't. And the reason the 1-2-2 becomes so used in today's NHL and hockey all around the world is because we have one more opportunity. If we fail at their blue line, if we fail at the red line, we can cause a turnover at our own blue line, which could be an offside, an actual turnover, or a forced dump in where we have an opportunity to recover the puck in our own D zone. The 1-1-3 was used in the NHL from 2019 to about 2022 by almost every NHL team. Teams still use it from time to time today. We have our second forward in the middle, but that is just far too much ice that we give up. And we put our third forward as well as our defenseman close to our blue line. The point of this is to stack everybody at the blue line, be a little bit more passive, and cause an offside or a turnover at our own blue line. And if the 1-1-3 is passive, the 2-1-2 is extremely aggressive. Think of this as man-on-man. It is primarily used off face-offs like we see here. The New York Islanders lose the face-off, and they are going to pressure the Pittsburgh Penguins in a 2-1-2 formation. You're trying to take away the D-to-D pass. You're trying to force them up the strong side, and realistically, the defenseman is always going to go up the strong side. If he's a right-handed defenseman on the right-hand side, they're going to go up the right-hand side. Or left. In this case, they go up the right-hand side, and that allows our single player, our number one in the 2-1-2, to cause a turnover at the red line. It's difficult to play man-on-man in today's NHL, which is why it's used off faceoffs. It's simple for players to know their role in a lost draw, but the New York Islanders do a great job here causing a turnover and getting zone entry. And finally, we have the famous 1-3-1, or the modern-day version of the trap. This is a hyper-passive system where you think counterpunch first. You are in position, you're waiting, you are clogging up the space between the red line and your blue line with 4 players, and you are trying to force a dump in or a turnover. The challenge with this play is you must wait for the other team to strike before you can go ahead and initiate your counterpunch in this system. It can cause for slower games, but also you want to be on the attack in small ice or NHL style hockey, and this one just doesn't allow you to do it. Once again, it's a play in the playbook that has its place in hockey. But overall, between all 4 of these systems, it's the 1-2-2 that I think you as a fan should most heavily focus on. But now you know all 4 options that modern NHL teams are using today. Number 3. So what do we do when we get that puck back? We're going to do what's called a neutral zone regroup, one of the most practiced things in today's NHL. And here's an exact example of what not to do. Never just slap the puck away. You always have to have a play, and NHL teams practice this to the highest level. We can go north-south, we can go east-west, but it is the quick up that we're always looking to get in first. It is where the defenseman makes a north-south pass either to around the red line or the opposing blue line, and then the team goes ahead on the attack with 3 players. The faster we can get it up the ice, the better. North to south is always going to be favored with east and west. East and west is a play that is used to open up north to south. So we see here the Edmonton Oilers on a little bit of a shorter play where they're making that quick up pass to their own blue line, and then they are using east to west to widen the neutral zone and gain zone entry against the Vegas Golden Knights. We also have an option to make what's called a hinge pass, where we make a D-to-D pass before we go ahead and move it up to a winger. We only make one of these passes. If you go D-to-D more than once, you're going to find yourself on the bench in today's NHL. We go D-to-D, then we go north to south. But teams know that this is going to happen. So when we see Montreal here get into a 2-1-2 forecheck, they realize they have taken away that D-to-D pass. So they go ahead and use that quick up. They attack that strong side. But unlike what we saw in our 2-1-2 with the New York Islanders, the Montreal Canadiens are unable to cause that turnover at the red line, and the aggressive forecheck fails, and the Washington Capitol neutral zone regroup succeeds. They get zone entry and a great chance. Now, so far, all of these plays have focused on passes that are along the wall, but in today's NHL, we really do want to use the middle way more than we want to use the wall. The wall is always the second read, the middle is always the first read. So we end up here in a 1-1-3 from Washington against the Montreal Canadiens, and Carrier makes a beautiful play protecting the puck and attracting both F1 and F2 on the 1-1-3 over to the side, so he can go ahead and bump it into the middle. Slafkovsky carries it, and Montreal gets a beautiful zone entry where they're able to attack with 4. That is the weakness of the 1-1-3, and that is the strength of attacking through the middle on a neutral zone regroup. And then finally, what would neutral zone regroups be without hinge passes? They lose the draw, they get into a 2-1-2, but there is enough room for Montreal to make that quick hinge pass. That hinge play ends up at the red line. Quick little tap by Montreal, and they go ahead and icing is called. Once again, this is why neutral zone forechecking systems are important, and it is why we have to be very cautious when making a hinge pass on the regroup these days. But we can put it all together here, and you can see how practiced this is. Montreal wins the draw. They get into a beautiful hinge pass situation. They cause a turnover over at the blue line because the pass is unable to be tape to tape. Normally, when you kick a puck off a skate like this, it's okay, but Washington turns it over. They're going to use a back pass to their defenseman. They're going to fake using the hinge pass like we've already talked about in today's video. They're going to use the quick up off the strong side, and they're going to gain zone entry. Which leads us to number 4. Zone entries. The first way to enter a zone isn't our most ideal, but it is called a chip and chase to the soft side. When we say the soft side, it means we are keeping it on the strong side. We know Florida likes to play on the strong side, so we're putting it in an opportunity where our players can pick up the puck. Sasha Barkov picks it up. He's able to corral it behind the net. Carter Verhaeghe finds himself wide open behind it, and they put it in. Zone entry with chip and chase can be excellent as long as we can be first on that puck. Another way we can be first on the puck here, the Winnipeg Jets show it. We use a little bit of a hinge pass, D to D. We game that red line and we fire it in and around all the way to the weak side. That's the opposite side of where we dump the puck in. We call this a hard dump in or a rim dump, but we know where the puck is going. So the Winnipeg Jets are all over it. It's a set play. This is also why it's so critical for goalies to be able to play the puck. If the goalie could come out and Benner could come out and play this puck, he would shut it down immediately. He stays in his crease. Winnipeg picks it up on the weak side and is able to get an amazing chance on Jordan Binnington. So remember, you want your goalies playing the puck, but if you're going to dump the puck in like Winnipeg does here, make sure it's quick enough and hard enough that the goalie doesn't want to leave his net. Now that we've discussed our 2 dump and chase methods or chip and chase methods, let's look at an ideal method, a quick strike up the middle. Toronto does an excellent job here of 2 passes down the middle, putting themselves on a breakaway. Every team wants to try to exploit and use the middle ideally. NHL teams are just so good that it is tough to find space in the middle, which is why you will see the Florida Panthers always attacking on the strong side. You attack with as many players as possible in this type of zone entry. You have consistent puck support, which means there are multiple short pass options for your team to take advantage of. The challenge with this play is the absolute lack of space that you have when doing it. Take a look at Evan Rodriguez on this play. He comes all the way from the weak side to make a play on the puck on the strong side, and it also gums up the neutral zone. Gumming up, and a lot of players, it's the antithesis of speed. But if you were as good as the Florida Panthers are and you can work in spaces no bigger than a phone booth like they can, you can exploit teams like they did here with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now let's get a little bit more tactical, taking a look at Connor McDavid, the best in the world, and his partner Leon Draisaitl, the rest of the Edmonton Oilers. As Connor McDavid enters the zone, this is your typical attack triangle. Your first player enters on the strong side, and they're going to do some kind of delay or switch. In this case, Connor McDavid is going to buy ice by pivoting and going east to west. The critical part of this is the mid lane drive. The second forward into the zone has to split the defenseman and drive right down that mid lane, taking one defenseman with him to the net on his way to the blue paint. From here, we're going to have a third forward post up at the top of the circle. It's always the top of the circle. It's not the high slot. We're trying to use as much of the zone as possible. McDavid feeds them. We have our player in front of the net, and our attack triangle ensues with a great shot upon zone entry. Our defensemen these days, especially on teams like the Oilers, the Panthers, but every NHL team has one of your top defensemen is always going to behave like a fourth forward. You may as well have 4 forwards on the ice and 1 defenseman at this point, especially when attacking. And here's a great view of the Florida Panthers doing so. We enter the zone on the strong side and we get a mid-lane drive. Although it is a little bit modified, they should have split the defense. I'm not going to tell Alexander Barkov how to play hockey. He still drives the middle of the ice and ends up at the net as a threat to score. We also see our third forward coming in here to the top of the circle, but it's our fourth forward or the late defenseman creating what we call the attack diamond these days. Comes in late, picks up that puck at the top of the circle, steps in, absolutely dangerous spot in the top slot, quick little shot with a screen in front, and boom, the puck goes in. This is an ideal way to enter the zone these days. This is heavily practiced by all NHL teams. Your NHL team is doing it. It just turns out the Florida Panthers, the defending champs, have done it better than anybody else in the last couple years. We also have what's called a strong side stretch, where we go ahead and move the puck nearly 150 feet all the way to the top of the zone. And you'll have physical players here like a Matthew Tkachuk who are able to box out, take a hit, and they have the skill to stop the puck with their feet and their blade in order to make a pass to a forward that is coming in late. That forward hits the line with a heavy amount of speed, And the diamond we just talked about turns back into a triangle. Our fourth forward was the one who started the play at the blue line, but they aren't going to have the momentum to keep up with the rest of the play. We end up attacking with 3, turning it into a 3-on-2 like we see here, and we have options. We don't always have to go to the high guy. We can threaten and go to the mid lane driver. That's what happens in this case. Bennett to Rodriguez, back of the net, goal. So there you have it. You have the 4 keys to playing fast. Your goalie must come out and play the puck. We have neutral zone forechecking options to turn the puck over if we don't have it. We have neutral zone regroup options to do what we need to do to enter the zone. And we have zone entry options that we are trying to score on, the most exciting tactic in hockey, where we try to score in the first 7 seconds upon entering an opposing team's zone. Hit like, hit subscribe, and if you like this video and didn't catch part 1 to it, it's up here on your screen now, so you can have another 10 advanced hockey secrets that'll help you become a better fan, a better coach, a better player, a better hockey enthusiast. It's an awesome 17-minute watch if you haven't seen it.